Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To your sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This is your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson.
Oh yeah, we don't even celebrate that.
Yeah, it's like they just wanted to talk about it though, you know? Not like a script. Like these are the things we talk about with Christians. So this is
Right.
GMS Cleveland, everyone. This is GMS Cleveland, but this is only one part of GMS Cleveland. They had like 3 other groups, 2 of which we talked to. So I've dropped a bunch of videos earlier, about a couple months back. Maybe someone can share the link, where we were also in separate locations talking to them as well. This footage, though, has never been seen, and so we're going to watch a little bit of it here tonight. And I'm very excited because there's some real good stuff on these clips, such as...
They indulge in pagan philosophies.
Yeah, Con, let me, come in with that. Yeah, we're not here to convince you, man. Right? The truth is, the truth has already been told. VOCAB, I mean, he keeps coming around, and he knows pretty much what we teach, and he knows what the understanding that we have of the Gentiles, which makes more sense than just saying somebody else can just wake up and come into this, right? Right? It could be just some outsider, right? You know, and it makes more sense to say that they're Israelites, which he know that's what we teach. To come there with an skewed mind, when, like the apostle said, you if you feel like there's no wisdom according to the scriptures, you're supposed to flee from a man that don't have understanding. Why would you still stand there, right? The Lord said, what says it? If my peace won't come upon them, shake the dust off your feet and go your way, because it's going to be great destruction to come to them, right? Because since you have the truth, right? But you know that we have the truth. That's why you're bothering us, right? And you use some simple-minded jakes to follow you, right?
Ideology to the day. And just like what would you consider a pagan holiday that our people celebrate? For an example, give me one, just one. Halloween. Would you say that Halloween was a biblical high holy day? Or what? Can I read the scripture right here? Arguing about Halloween. We don't even do Halloween. We don't even do Halloween. So that's not. We're not even talking about Halloween. We're not talking about Halloween. That's like me trying to debate y'all for celebrating Easter. 49:6. Y'all know what the Revelation is. We just talking about Isaiah. Can I get my precept?
The dude said, it's like we trying to debate you for celebrating Easter. Well, there's no celebrating of Easter, right? It's the Passover. We don't celebrate Easter, right? See? But Christians do celebrate Halloween, right? And we're gonna prove it because he's gonna say it out of his own mouth, right? A Christian.
Oh boy, that's bringing back nothing.
What about Halloween? Like, brother, you talking to the wrong. First off, it's a distraction and it's a straw man. Second off, you talking to the wrong group of Christians because we don't celebrate it.
Me personally, I do Reformation Day. I don't know about everybody else, but
Yeah, you can tell he was.
You already said Reformation Day, right? They all do that, right? Reformation Day, right? Yeah. So this guy's talking about Reformation Day, right? It says how to throw a Reformation Day party, right? So you got this, little nonsense of, I guess they're trying to, I don't know what that is, I don't know if it's Bible verses or not, but look, costumes. Is that not Halloween? It's on Halloween, but let's throw another word over it. So it's not like you're celebrating Halloween, right? Just throw another word over it. It's Reformation Day. Here's a fun, festive Reformation Day party ideas. Hey, you can dress up too. See, the parents can dress up, right? which is on Halloween, right? Right? You're dressing up as something else, something that you're not, right? Right? So you don't celebrate Halloween. So this is for Reformation Day. What's up with the carving of the pumpkins? And that one looked like you, vocab. That's supposed to be I don't know. That's supposed to be Martin Luther, or who that was supposed to be. But it looked like vocab, right? Vocab growing his beard. He wear the little hat. He trying to wear the Kango and hey, that looked like you, right? What's up with the carving of the pumpkins? Putting the cross on the pumpkins, you know, on your right. There's Martin Luther right here, right? Vocab, right? Carving them all in a pumpkin, right? Which they do that on Halloween. That's a Halloween thing, right? Oh wait, an actual jack-o'-lantern. 499th Reformation Day. Go ahead, vocab. That's right, right with the jack-o'-lantern. But hey, you don't celebrate because you're not saying Halloween. It doesn't mean you're not celebrating Halloween. Your kids are dressing up in costumes. The adults are dressing up in costumes, and you're carving pumpkins, right? For your Reformation. Come on, man. Right? And you so-called Christian, the so-called black church is finished, man. You don't know a thing, man. That's why it proves you don't know nothing because you let these people call you black, right? Or African American. It proves you don't know a damn thing in the first place. Then on top of that, you're foolish enough to laugh and joke with your enemy. But Christianity is saturated in Halloween, right? You're talking to the wrong Christians here. I doubt it, man. Because all you do is learn everything from the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? Right? Saturated in this, right? This is your God, right? Self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? Esau, Edom, man. Right? You like that, huh? Look at that. Oh, look. Did it? And then they got the crown of thorns with the cross. And oh, man. You like that, huh? Oh, look at that. Oh, I bet them Jakes like that. Start bowing down, praying. You know what I'm saying? This is what they look at when they pray, man. Right? And you're joking and laughing like it's nothing, man. Christianity is filled with it's saturated in so-called Halloween. So that's why the brother brought it up, man, first and foremost. Right? But they're talking about deflecting, right? That's exactly what you guys are doing, man. You're deflecting off the matter of who you really are as Christians, right? Right? Sorry. And then you X out the thing. We don't celebrate Halloween, but I can't tell. Right? Yeah, this is how you celebrate. You're saying should Christians celebrate it, but we know this how you celebrate it. See we get. See we get. Yeah, see this and this is exactly how they do it at a Christian church. We were Christians before we came into the truth, man. And this is exactly how they do it. Look at her, she's dressed like what's the name? The chick from Egypt, right? Which really was a brown person, right? Which not an Israelite, but all other nations were brown, right? Various shades of brown, not white, right? And this is exactly how they do it. They back the cars up, let the kids dress up. This is Christianity, man. This is how they so-called. This is how they celebrate Halloween. They still let the kids dress up. One Life Church. Let the kids dress up. Hey, no, just come to church and get your candy. We'll still let you dress up. The day is still Halloween, so you're celebrating it. You know what I mean? Hey, man, forget about it, man. Right? see if I can see. I don't know. It's basically improved the freaking point, man. I mean, and we know the so-called black church ain't no better. Like most of these are so-called white, but you eat it up because your father is a self-proclaimed so-called white man. You do the works of your father. You do the same thing Esau Edom does, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, matter of fact, it came to mind Cleopatra, right? It's dressed up like Cleopatra, right? Which even in the Christian church, supposedly, Egypt is supposed to be about the curse, right? So why would you be indulging in anything that deal with Egypt, right? Right? Yeah. So this is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. So ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, right? Which technically putting on costumes is not necessarily you cutting yourself, but someone cut the fabric and made the fabric into a goddamn costume that's really fit and made for the dead, right? Nor imprint any markings upon you. I am Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. So the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. So you're not supposed to be doing anything for the dead, man. Right? Putting things on your body for the dead. And I know it's not necessarily a tattoo or carving, right? But you're still putting things on your body that represents the dead, right? Right? Yeah. See. Yeah, so I mean it proves that Esau is the devil, man. Right? This thing plays forth loud music while you're supposed to be reading the Bible, and reading the Bible is supposed to be, a quiet, thoughtful thing, so you can meditate on the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And then under your Bible, they have these advertisements. The advertisements just gonna break in while you're reading and just start making noise. Right? So well, this time it didn't make the noise for whatever reason. But yeah, let me get to this. This is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 21. And thus shall not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech. And that's ultimately what you're doing when you're, in a sense, it's symbolic, right? By letting your kids celebrate Halloween, right? Because that's a high day for witchcraft, for witches and warlocks, and basically snatching up children, right? What do they call it when you're I guess I'll just keep it simple: sacrificing children, right? So it's a high day for sacrificing children, Halloween, and you're dressing up your children in these fashions. We're basically saying, let's make it playful. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you. It's a Day of the Dead, like type of thing, and it's a day you can just dress up, make it playful, why you be put to death, right? Right? And kids can be lured into a thing in such a fashion. A Molech neither shall thus profane the name, right? See, and that's what you have at your church. You have the Halloween. You have the carvings of who you JC, right? Who you ignorantly say that it's the Messiah, right? in a thing that represents the dead, that represents Halloween and pumpkins and all this other madness, right? So you're you're profaning the name of thy power of you know what I'm saying? Profaning the name of thy power. I am Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. So you're profaning the name of the Lord on top of everything that you're doing, right? Yeah. So this is a history of Halloween. This is some or other current holidays with their tradition have their roots traceable to ancient heathen religious festivals. What started out as Almighty God's appointed set sacred times, right? Which is what, especially when you deal with the Israelites, not really, because everybody didn't celebrate the way Israel celebrated, right? Because these are laws and statutes that were only given to Israel. But because the Bible is the world greatest sold book, and it's everywhere, everybody's linking it together as if this was a world thing that everybody knew to do. Everybody didn't do this. That's why it's called heathen. Heathen means nation, right? So these heathen or these other nations' customs, right? This is what they did compared to the customs of the Israelites, right? Which were sacred, right? Holy unto the power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Time that were shadows and foretellings that the time of the Messiah to come. So they're saying, hey, look, they're hiding them into it's never that's BS, right? But they're showing you how they're not telling you that really that's what Christianity did, right? It came in and put the heathenistic customs within the way they told you the stories of the Bible, which really don't link up with the Bible when you actually understand the Bible, right? Does not link up with the Bible, right? Instead, because over time buried under heathen traditions of men, right? And that's what men came in and did, right? Right? It says one of God's appointed set times to meet with him, Passover, unleavened bread, right? First fruits was replaced with ancient pagan fertility festivals surrounded by rabbits, colored eggs, and the eating of pork, ham. So we know that you Christians, right, love your Easter ham, right? Right? VOCAB is eating his Easter ham, right? He's gonna eat his Christmas ham, right? The date associated with the drunken festival of debauchery, Saturnalia. Oh yeah, Saturnalia. Right, goes back into Satan. Right, because the day to celebrate the birthday of JC, which that's not the name of the Lord, right? Jay is only 4,500 years old, so they already got that wrong. So they're already defiling the name of the Lord, right? And then there is what? Halloween, right? There is nothing wrong with celebrating Christmas on December 31st and having Easter egg hunt with your grandchildren on Easter, dressing up in costumes and enjoying sweet treats on Halloween, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Most of us have cherished moments, right, associated with these holidays, right? And that's you Christian. That's hey, that's what you can't let it go. That's why they're gonna carve crosses, carve the picture of what they think the Lord looks like, right? What they want, their own depiction. Basically because they're coming after their own heart, right? They're after their own mind, right? Yeah. So this is a Wikipedia. Molech. Basically, there's different ways to spell it. Molech. These all three spellings are Molech, right? Different ways to spell it, but it's the same deity, right? False god. The word says is a word which appears in the Hebrew Bible several times, primarily in the book of Leviticus. The Bible strongly condemns practices that are associated with Molech, right? Because it wasn't for the Israelites to do, right? And that all goes into that whole thing with Halloween, or you want to call it fall festival or harvest day, or I don't know. I already forgot the word that fucking vocab called that madness. What was it called again? Because because it was just Reformation. Yeah, it's like a Reformation Day, right? So whatever you want to call it, fall harvest day, Reformation Day, whatever you want to call it. When you're still carving freaking pumpkins and you're dressing in different costumes and you're celebrating, you're having these parties, right? Which is basically still Halloween. You're celebrating Halloween regardless, right? Which is giving your children over to Molech, whether you accept it or not, whether you want to, we're not those type of Christians, right? All that BS, man. But hey, time of mirth is basically mirth is over, man. The times even before I was in the truth, the time of Christmas and all those days, it didn't even feel the same, right? The energy and things that you used to have around that time, hey, that's gone, man. The thrill is gone. Hey, yeah. The thrill is gone. Hey, it's gone, man. Right? Right? Who's singing that? Is it BB King? I don't remember who, but I remember hearing that song though when I was a kid. But but yeah, several times, primarily in Leviticus, the Bible strongly condemns practices that are associated with Molech, which are heavily implied to include child sacrifices, man. Giving your children over to Molech, man, right? Halloween. So I just typed in Molech, Halloween God, and this is what popped up. I didn't go. These images and everything popped up. I'm in all. I'm not even in images, but everything, all this popped up, right? Yeah, but I was reading. It says this is a Greek god, but what I read earlier, it was saying that it was a god of it was like a Canaanite god, Molech, initially, right? Which Esau, right? The Romans, which Esau is the one who took over Rome, right? Because the Romans are the they're Japhet, right? And which will be the so-called Hawaiians or Aborigines of Australia, right? Which are the real Greeks and the real Romans, right? Before Esau took over. But yeah, so you see, people have those questions. Halloween and Molech is the same, right? So worshiping of Molech is the same as Halloween, right? So these are people that are saying it's pretty much the same thing, right? But yeah, so you got these basically these pagan gods, whether Molech or Baal or whatever it may be, right? That actually is, that goes back to the, to basically the worship of Halloween, right? Which, yeah, so this is Leviticus chapter 20, right? Verse 1. And Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, spake unto Moses, again, thus shall say unto the children of Israel, not the whole world, just the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel. And maybe that's the way the Lord needed to write it all the way through the thing, but he couldn't, because it had to be a way that you had to decipher this, right? So everybody can think that when it said Gentile, everybody can come in, right? Because that's ultimately what he was getting to, right? The gent is a light to the Gentiles, right? Which hopefully, Lord willing, I'm gonna get to that. Says because already we're being a light, because obviously you celebrate Halloween, right? Right, whether you call it reform or festival or harvest, whatever you guys are celebrating Halloween, right? And then you chuckle and laugh like it was nothing. Yeah, you do, right? Right, as Christians. So whosoever be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger. Oh wait, the stranger that sojourn in Israel, who's in Israel because they're Israelites, right? That's the light that they were talking about, right? They were supposed to go to who? Those Gentiles, those strangers, which are Israelites, right? That giveth again, that giveth any of the seed, right, of his seed unto Molech, right? Which is talking about the children of Israel, the seed line, the geno, right? Seed, right? The sperma, seed line unto Molech, right? To cause your children be sacrificed unto Molech, which is symbolic when you're celebrating Halloween. You're not actually sacrificing your kid, but it's symbolically you're giving your children to Molech, right? Symbolic fashion, right? And the elites, you know, they love modified or symbolic death, right? A lot of times they do that. They'll do symbolic deaths, symbolic of having sex with a goat, right? Right? Symbolic. They do a lot of symbolic things, right? You know, as so-called square men, right? They do a lot of those symbolic things, right? Shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones, right? Right? And I will set my face against that man, right? Because now all of a sudden everybody can be whatever, but are you willing to well, of course not, because you're Esau Edom. You're not willing to go that far, right? That you violated the laws of the Lord. How about Shema was shy? And now, the laws are done away with. See, because you don't really want to live up to the standards that the Lord requires us. But hey, when the Lord gets back, man, he will set his face against you. That man will cut against that man and will cut him off from amongst his people. Right, you're gonna get put to death, right? Because he have given his seed, right? Seed line, geno, right? Which even those strangers is talking about Israelites, right? Unto Molech to defile what? My sanctuary. So a freaking regular stranger or regular heathen will not be part of the Lord's sanctuary, man. You're not a part of the sanctuary, right? To profane my holy name. So the Lord is upset because his name is within you. Yasha Allah, he Prince of God, of Allah, right? God, right? You're Yahweh, right? Right? You're the Israelites, right? Yeah, and by the way, carving the Lord and crosses, which a cross is an idol in itself. But then you're carving what you say is the Lord, right? Which is basically a man of leprosy, which is not the Lord, but you're saying that's the Lord. So then you're blaspheming the name of the Lord, the holy name of the Lord. You're blaspheming the Lord's sanctuary, right? Since you're saying that you're so-called saints and you're Christians, right? The Lord did away with that. right? Right? You saying the laws are done away with, so a man can wear a dress like like Apostle Hart was telling you, right? Where's the boundaries in anything, man? Right? That's why you could identify yourself with anything, right?
The wrong group of Christians because we don't celebrate it.
Me personally, I do Reformation Day. I don't know about everybody else, but
Yeah, you could tell he was trying to shift the conversation early in the rabbit trail. That's what it looked like he was trying to do.
Yeah, see, and really, ultimately, that's what they were doing. They were shifting everything, right? Trying to get you to those silly Negroes, right? All being racist, but saying you're not racist because you got a couple more so-called black people that so-called there that's and it's just you silly, but you worship Christmas. I mean, you worship Halloween, right? And Christmas, right? Right? Because I was going to go into that, but I'll go into that after we get this point right here.
and he was excited to go there because he didn't even wait. He's like, "What's an example? Just name one." He's like, "Halloween." You didn't get the
Halloween, right?
You didn't get the name one. He's like, "I got to say this one," you know.
But Brian did a good job at just being like, "Hey man, listen, can I just read my precept? I'm not about to go down that rabbit trail. We talking about Isaiah because we were talking about Isaiah 49:6. So we like, no, let's quit trying to run from this text and let's talk about the scripture that we're talking about."
A warrior in training, he's laughing when he's, "Can I get my precept? LOL." Yeah, you know, that's how it goes, man. Christians, we gotta, when we're out there and they like determine you might sort of know what you're talking about, we have to beg them to read the Bible.
Hey, you're gonna keep training, man, right? Forever, ever studying, but never coming to the truth. And that's you so-called Christians, man. Ever learning, but never coming to the truth, man. You're gonna be warrior in training, right? You're gonna be forever training. You're never gonna come to the truth, right? Look who you following. These people ain't in the truth, and you deem these people high, man, right? Folly is set in great dignity, man, right?
Bible. This happens frequently. No joke. We had to beg them to read the Bible. Now, just so everyone knows, I'm going to read Isaiah 49:6, the scripture that they're trying to get to. Here's what Isaiah 49:6 says out of the LSB. I'm going to start with verse 5. "So now, says Yahweh, who formed me from the womb to be his servant, to return Jacob back to him, so that Israel might be gathered to him. For I am glorified in the sight of Yahweh, and God is my strength." He said,
"Hey, no, notice. Are you even hearing what he's saying? Wait, let's just rewind that real quick, just a little bit. So he giving you some BS word of Yahweh, right? Which really is Yahweh, right? But I'd rather you say Yahweh than to say anything with a goddamn J. That's just complete ignorance, right? So, but remind you what he's saying. He's saying you're gonna draw the children of Israel unto the Lord, unto Yahweh. The children of, and this is the subject of the conversation. So man, that's just fucking, here we go.
"So now, says Yahweh, who formed me from the womb to be his servant, to return Jacob back to him, so that Israel might be gathered to him. For I am glorified in the sight of Yahweh, and God is my strength. He says, it is too small a thing that you should be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to cause the preserved ones of Israel to return. I also give you as a light to the nations, so that my salvation may reach to the end of the earth." So let's see if we actually can get into a discussion about that.
All right, did you hear that? So let's go ahead and go to that real quick. We'll go to the blue letter, right? First, real quick. Right? Okay. Yeah, so we're in Isaiah 49:6, right? And it says, and he said it is a light thing, right? Like, a light thing. I want somebody tell you it's a light thing, like, I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing to the Most High to allow things to happen, right? It's a light thing that thus should it be my servant, right? Saying it ain't that hard. Like the Lord tells you that his burdens are light with him. His yoke is light. Go with the Lord, and his yoke, his burdens are light. Without the Lord, yokes and burdens are going to be heavy, man. It's going to be a lot more heavier without the Lord. This is why people commit suicide, or people, or black out and just go out and just do whatever, right? Right? They'll just start shooting people, doing whatever, right? Going postal or whatever people do, right? That's that madness that right? Their mind goes mad. Without the Most High, you're nothing, right? So it says to raise up the what? The tribes of Jacob, right? Which are all 12 tribes, right? And to restore. What do restore means? Right? To build back up again, right? To restore, right? The preserved, right? Let's look at the definition of preserved, right? Right? Preserved, but it's going to go to preserve in the definition. Preserve, tense, past tense, preserved, mean something, maintain, right? To maintain something in its original or existing state, right? Which that's what the Lord said he's going to make everything go back into the Garden of Eden, back in the time where Adam was a god, right? But this time of him being a god, he's going to know good and evil, right? And the Lord is going to write the law, statutes, and commandments within his inward parts all over again. But this time, knowing good and evil, you're not going to fall off, right? You're not going to fall off. You're going to remain, right? Right? It says, I like this one right here. All records, which that's what the Bible is, right? The Bible's records, right? I believe when you go into the biblios, means records, right? So all the records of the past were ain't that what you're supposed to be in this truth, in this walk? Supposed to be zealously preserved, right? Zealously. And that's what happened. The men of the Lord, right, dealing with the prophets of the time, were writing down all the prophecies, though they didn't know everything they were writing down. They didn't understand it. But those prophets are back now, and they understand it all, right? Right? Because someone zealously preserved it, right? And then you got to understand in its original state. So in Israel's original state, there was no allowance of any heathen to come in. So to think that you're going to go and read the part about Gentiles before you even get to Gentiles, it's saying to preserve Israel in its original state, which originally the heathen had to be in the outside of the temple, right? Originally, there's no heathen to go inside the temple. Even when we were doing it when it was just a tent, let alone when we had the building, the Ark of the Covenant was there. All that, forget about it. There's no heathen that could be around, right? How much more when we're established and Yahweh Shai, which is the Ark of the Covenant. Now our Ark of the Covenant is Yahweh Shai, and He's going to be present there. And King David, who hates an Edomite with a passion, right? So how in the world you're gonna get down to Gentile, and all of a sudden it means you could come in the temple now. You could be part of this thing. Come on now. Preserve of Israel, right? And I will also give thee the light. I will also give thee for a light. I will give you an Israelite, right? Giving you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? To be able to prophesy, to teach your brother, right? Because it's going to come a time when we don't have to teach our brother, when the laws are written in our heart and our mind, or our hearts, right? Which is the same thing. Lob is your mind, right? Right? When we're going to be programmed to do everything right. You're going to have no need to teach your brother. But right now, I'm gonna give you the light, which is the scriptures, the understanding, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, the understanding to what? To be a light. Give thee for a light to the Gentiles. Woo! So you think that means stranger? That means any other nation, right? Right? That thus, right? Even though it does mean nations, but our people were scattered amongst all the other nations, so they were called under these other names, under names of other nations. And that's what the brother should have said. They were called under names of other nations, but it doesn't change your bloodline or your lineage, right? Right? There's a there's a show called Shameless, right? And a little so-called black boy is in the show, and his name is Liam, right? But technically they were saying that the father and the mother are self-proclaimed so-called white people, but he came out like looking like a regular black person, so-called, right? But as you see in the show, he's just as manipulative and wicked, just like his Edomite counterparts. So it is what we call a chocolate covered Edomite, right? So you could be whatever you want and look like whatever you want to look like, but it goes back to your lineage, to your seed, to your genome. This is why you can't give your seed, even if you're a stranger, you can't give your seed over to Molech if you're an Israelite. If you're somebody else, you can do whatever you want to do. If you're another nation, you're a stranger, you're an actual Gentile, you can do whatever you want to do. But under Yahweh Bashem Shai, you being a stranger, sojourner, you're traveling through, you're just a traveling person. But it doesn't change because you're traveling, right? As a sojourner, it doesn't change that you're an Israelite. Because you live in another country, and because whoever the ruling people decided to say, wherever you're born, that's your nationality. It doesn't change your lineage of who your father was, father, all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Right? Doesn't change it. So Gentile, that thus may it be, thus may be my salvation, may it be my salvation unto the ends, into the end of the world. Well, we're in the end of the world, right? We're at America, Babylon the Great, and we're at the end of Esau's kingdom. So this is twofold. We're at the end of the world, right? The fourth part of the earth, or the fourth part of the earth, right? And we're at the end of Esau's kingdom, right? So that's double fold right there on that, right? Yeah, so it's the same chapter, same verse, Isaiah 49:6, right? We're gonna go in here, try to get a little bit of understanding, right? Because it's gonna go into, the transliteration or translated, right, from the Hebrew to the English, Okay. Matter of fact, let's look up that preserve too, real quick.
Strong's H 5336. Not see it. Not see it.
Not seer. Hey man, that almost sound like not seer. Or almost sound like not seer. Not seer is Prince, but that's not seer. Yeah, not seer. Yeah, like Prince, right? So, wow. Forget about it. Preserve. Not seer. It ain't really giving you much on the preserve right there on that, but it got a what you call them?
Strong's H 5341. Not sad. Not sad.
Not sad. Okay, so this gives you a little bit more. See, to guard, watch over. See, is it to preserve you? It's going to watch over to make sure that we stay Israel, so we stay the same. So that way, the Lord is going to bring us back to our original state, back into the godly state that we're meant to be, back like before the Garden of Eden, right, or Idan, right, was stripped from us for the lack of obedience, right, because we're going to be completely obedient, and that's what he's saying. You're gonna go get your brothers, The ones that's Gentiles are the ones that in the Gentile state of mind who are in these other countries calling themselves by these Gentile names. I'm going to have you be a light unto them to bring them out of that darkness into what? My marvelous light. Or else how could you get them? If every Israelite is in the light, enlightened by the truth, well, how can you bring them out of darkness into the Lord's marvelous light? Right? Right? So you other people, you're not even in darkness. You know who you are. Right? I can go, oh, I know my grandfather's grandfather, father. And, you know what I mean? I even had people like that at my job. They would laugh. They would try to pick them. Hey, you know your people from way back. I know my people. This guy don't. And they were like all conjunctionally, you know, laughing amongst each other, but really laughing at me, but not saying that it was about me. But I knew that's what it was. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know my lineage. I know where all my people come from. Yeah, man, it had to happen to me, man. Right? But now we know our lineage, man. Preserve, guard from what? Dangers. Hey, come on now, forget about it, man. Right? Forget about it. Right? Let me go back up here because I know it probably jumped out of that. Yep, get back to it because let's see. Okay, Gentiles, which a lot of the time it's Gar, right? But
Strong's H 1471. Goy. Goy.
Yeah, which really supposed to be Gar, not Goy, right? Nations, people, nations, unusually of a non-Israelite people, unusually. So that means sometimes you can call an Israelite a goy, right? Which really means Gar, right? Gar. That's what Moses' son was named. His name was Gar, right? Stranger, right? Right? Oh, look, it tells you of descendants of Abraham, of Israel. See, they're still called strangers. See? Come on, man. This is supposed to be Christianity stuff. This is you're supposed to be able to. But see, vocab got these people who are zombies like Apostle Hart. They don't go back and look up. There you go, man. Right? See if there's any root words to. Okay, yeah, it goes to etymology. Right, a root word, deeper word. Back, behold. Ooh, back. The back. Right? Behind. Right? Back, the behind. Which obviously mean when you're talking about actual heathens or Gentiles, that's why you're going to be in the back, or you're going to be behind. You're going to be out the outer courts. That's what Gentile means. It means to be back, the back, or behind. Right? It didn't mean for, oh, I'm a Gentile, I could be. No, these Gentiles are Israelites. Right? Right? Let's see if it got a little bit more. Little bit more. Yeah, the back, the mid, right? Back among body, right? So, yeah, so basically it letting you know that an Israelite could be called another nation, could be called Gar or Goyim, Goy. Yeah, right? You understand that? Yeah. So I don't know what vocab is thinking. Him and his two zombies, right? What they're thinking, right? I think that's why the brother brought up Halloween, because vocab shows up with his two zombies, hey, you must be celebrating Halloween, right? 'Cause that's what so-called Christians do. They celebrate Halloween, which I basically just went through and showed you that. But this is the worst verse he can go into, right? Right? Because you see Gentiles, and Gentiles supposed to mean nations, right? Usually a un-Israelite, but it can be an Israelite too, right? Usually means there's sometimes, in some cases, someone may call an Israelite a Gentile. You don't say usually unless there's a what do you call it? There's possibilities. Let's just say it that way, right? Right. That means there's a possibility, right, that someone could call an Israelite a Gentile. So not only did he use these, it just don't make sense. I mean, the verse in itself speaks for itself. That it's talking about Israel, but you got a bunch of zombies with you. But let's just go to the verse right after it. Thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Redeemer of Israel. So he just spoke about these Gentiles that you were talking about, that you say that's the other nations, that it's anybody who could just, oh, I know how to read. I can read these words. I believe. Now, therefore, I'm part of, I'm the spiritual Israelite, and now I can come in and accept the inheritance, but I don't have to do anything to do with the covenants, right? Because the first covenant is done away with, though the Lord said he's dealing with them that he gave his covenants with, right? Right? Right. It says Psalms, right? Psalms 50:5. Gather my saints together. Who? My saints, right? Saints are the Israelites, right? Whether you know it or not, whether you accept it or not. It's only talking about the Israelites. Unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Or who the only ones who have made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? Those are the ones the Lord is gathering, right? Even though the Most High, as a father, if you keep reading, he's angry with Israel, and he goes and says, if I were hungry, I would not tell thee, right? For the world is mine, and the fullness thereof, right? Because the Lord was saying what? The cattle belong to him, right? For every beast of the field is mine, every cattle upon 1,000 hills, and I know the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. So how can you give these animals as a sacrifice to the Lord, as if the Lord, man, he knows who these, he know everything about these beasts. Those beasts belong to him anyway. Your sacrifice ain't good enough, right? Especially doing animal sacrifice, right? Because you're just killing some other little thing and going about your business, but you're not renting your heart, right? That's why the Lord said, offer unto the power, the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thanksgiving, and pay thy vows. See, we made vows to the Lord. So who made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? And when we did that, that was with a vow. So the Lord said, you must pay your vow. So everybody in the world did not make a vow with the Most High, nor do you have to pay anything because you never made a vow. But the Lord said, look, he's through with the sacrifice of animals, but you still have to pay your vows, right? So now we're sacrificing our body, right? Sacrificing, everything else, right? Unto the Most High, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? And call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver thee, and thus shall glorify me. Wait, let's finish this off. And unto the wicked, right? Self-proclaimed so-called white man, and 2/3 of our own people, But the wicked, the border of wickedness, is Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, who the Lord hates. Right? There's a particular nation, a whole nation that the Lord hates. So this Gentile that you could just say, oh, I'm a Gentile and I can be accepted. Well, what about the whole nation that the Lord hates? Now this person can just read a couple of chapters and now he's a saint. He's a spiritual Israelite now, right? But unto the wicked saith, what have thus to do to declare my statute? See, so you're reading the Bible and you're catching you're catching hell, right? So called, by saying you're a Christian, right? Which you're but those are under false pretense, because who are you to declare the Lord's statutes? Who are you to go through the book and then all of a sudden say that you're part of this because you read a couple of words that have nothing to do with you? Who are you? Who are wait, hey, let's go back. But unto the wicked saith, but unto the wicked power, the Most High Yahweh saith, what have thus to do to declare my statutes, or that thus shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth? See, it ain't for you, right? Right. So let me continue what I was saying. So the seventh verse, after what they were trying to bring up, the seventh verse says, "Thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Redeemer of Israel, the Holy One, to him whom man despiseth." Right. So technically, you nations, all you despise the Lord. You're not in reverence of the Lord. So who are you to declare the Lord's statutes? Who are you to have the covenants of the Lord within your mouth? Right? Doesn't make sense. You despise him who the nations abhorreth. Right? All you nations, you abhor, you put off the Lord, you put off righteousness. Right? And 66.6% of our people, of the Israelites, they put it off too. Right? Because they're trying to follow you. And you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Right? To serve to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship, because of Yahweh that is faithful, and the Holy One of what? Of Israel, right? So the Lord's going to raise back up his people, right? To be kings and princes, right? Right? The Holy One of Israel. Why did the Lord keep saying that, right? Right after you try to make this statement about the Lord, you should be given a light to the Gentiles, and then here he's the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee, Israel. The Holy One of Israel should choose thee, right? Yeah, I know. Then that proves you're the devil, see? The Holy One of Israel, because that's what I wanted to happen the other day, and it didn't do it, but that's fine. Or earlier I wanted to do that. But that's fine, it did that, made that noise, right? Because the Bible is supposed to be something you're supposed to be able to be in peace and tranquility and meditate. But somehow Esau got this thing where it make noise while you're reading the Bible, right? Disturbing your meditation, your reading time, right? And really trying to just, any irritants that they could try to do. But let's keep going, skip down, right? Because he's saying this is for everybody. And then what the brothers was trying to break down to you, that there were Israelites that were scattered around the world, right? And these Israelites, not knowing that they're Israelites, because it doesn't change. If there's people who are adopted, right? And they don't know their parents nor their mother. They don't know who they come from. Like I met a guy and I was trying to speak to him, and he was like, I don't know my mom. I don't know my dad. I don't know anything about it. So that's a very good example to use. It's kind of like that. Being scattered in slavery under the Babylonian captivity, under the Medo-Persian Empire captivity. You got to know that every Israelite has not came out of every captivity. Though Israel got delivered, right? It'll tell you that Israel got delivered, and it was a big bulk of Israel that went back to Israel after the Babylonian captivity. It was a big bulk of the Israelites actually didn't even get out of the Babylonian. It went right into the Medo-Persian Empire. But under the Medo-Persian, there was a great bulk, right, of Israelites that were still there, right? Under the Medo-Persian Empire, some were still in Babylon, right? Some were still, they're scattered all over the place. So each captivity, even under Egypt, right? When the Lord delivered us out of Egypt, there were probably most likely a few Israelites that were still in Egypt, right? Because, or else, why would the Lord have to bring up sojourners, right? So he's giving them the law out. Because if every single Israelite is out at Mount Sinai, he have no need to tell you, oh yeah, but by the way, if there's a sojourner that shows up, you have to treat him as one that was born in the land, because we haven't even got into the land yet, right? So the Lord knew that there were people scattered already, right? But that's saying all that to get to this right here, right? Because it's saying, and I will make all my mountains, right? Was dealing with the Israelites, dealing with governments, right? The Lord is going to give us governments. He's going to give us, the Lord said that he go to prepare a mansion, right? Which is these other planets, right? Which we're gonna have rulership over different planets, different lands and time zones and whatever. You know what I mean? The Lord's going to give us back to full rulership, right? Mountains of the way, and my highways shall be exalted, right? Dealing with the Israelites, man. The way of the Lord is going to be openly exposed once he raised up the Israelites, right? On high above all other nations, right? You're gonna have to come to Israel, or you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna have to come pay your tribute, right? After your 1,000 years of slavery, right? It says, behold, feast your eyes, look, pay attention. Those shall come from far. See, who are those that's coming from far? And lo, which means to look, right? Same thing. Feast your eyes, look, pay attention. These from the north, right? Right? These are Israelites that's in the north, Israelites that's scattered around other places. Israelites are in the north. And from the west, Israelites are in the west. And those from the land of Sintim, right? So these are Israelites that scattered in other places, right? And when you're in other places, you may be called by other names, right? Other cultures, other names, wherever land you were born in, right? Because this is a thing of the heathen that all of a sudden try to give a new understanding to what nation means, right? Right. So this is Isaiah chapter 49, same verse that he's in, but like I said, you got to keep reading, man. And if you just read the verse right after it, the Lord's just saying he's the Holy One, he's the Redeemer and the Holy One of Israel. He's the Redeemer of Israel. So now that he said these Gentiles, why did he still just say Israel? Or why didn't he just say I'm the Savior of nations? Right? Right? And even then it don't mean that he's talking about you, right? Because the Lord specifically called Jacob, that said Jacob shall be of nations, right? right? That's who he gave the blessing to, from Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob, right? And Jacob should be known as nations, right? So is it a surprise? Right? So behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. These shall come from far, and lo, which, right? Behold means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. Lo means to feast your eyes, look, pay attention. Means to look. These from the north and from the west, and them from the land of Siddim. All right, Lord, will I'm saying the right thing? Siddim. Right? So we're gonna go into that word Siddim. Right?
Strong's H 5515. Eretz Sinim. Eretz Sinim.
Okay, Sinim, right? Whatever. Salakia, I got that wrong, but Sinim, right? And so it's a Sinim, thorns, but look what it say right after that, right here, right? Which is the true understanding, the true definition of it. It says a people living at the extremity of the known world. So this is, you know, and right now, what are you at right now? Right here in Babylon the Great, now you're at the extremities of the known world, right? We're at the end. We're at the end of this thing. We're at the ends of the world. We're on the fourth part of the earth, right? Which at that time they didn't know exists. Besides, Solomon, and and then he had those the Hamites that had the military with him, the navy with him, right? So they knew. So the Israelites knew, and the Hamites knew that there were more to the planet, but the rest of you nations did not know, right? So it says, may be it may be identified. So it's a possibility you may identify an Israelite. So it may be, and that's a big thing to say, that you may be identified with the inhabitants, so the land. So that's what they do today, right? Except for you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, especially the so-called black men, right? They're not, to this day, they're not really necessarily identifying you with the land. So there has to be something wrong that through the transatlantic slave trade, right? Deuteronomy 28:64, we've been scattered all around the world. Deuteronomy 28:68, right? The Lord shall bring thee again into Egypt with ships, right? We're on our bondage, Egypt meaning bondage, right? Slavery, right? Oppression, right? With ships, and you should be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bond women, right? Going into Joel chapter 3, right? Saying so a boy for an harlot and a girl for wine that they may drink, right? And they have cast lots, and cast lots mean what? Bid. They're bidding, right? They're gambling in a sense. They're bidding, right? Well, the highest bidder goes to the highest bidder. They will cast lots for my people, right? And you should be sold unto your enemy for bondmen and bondwomen, right? Casting lots for the Lord's people. Saying that what? It was Tyre, Zidon, and they shall sell them to what? To the Grecians, right? The self-proclaimed so-called white man, where you're scattered, right? So you may be identified under a different title than before, and may be identified with the inhabitants. So you may just be identified with the land where you live of southern China. See? So Israelites were scattered all the way over somewhere else. And then this Siddim.
Strong's H 5515. Eretz Sinim. Eretz
Sinim. Yes, Sinim, right? What they're trying to say. is Sinim, right? Or Siddim, right? Is identified with the inhabitants of southern China. So you may be identified by a whole nother land, a whole nother part of the world, and they may identify you as that, right? So so this is the GNTD version of the Bible. The same verse, the Isaiah 49:12 says this one says my people. So you're not getting it confused. It's talking about the Israelites. My people will come from far away, from the north and from the west, and from Aswan in the south. So, and I just noticed this thing has a footnote. It says Aswan from the south. And in this footnote, it tells you, it says, my people will come from far away, from north and west, and it's from Aswan from the south. Aswan is a city in the southern Egypt where a large Jewish, which there's such thing as Jewish, right? Large Israelite, right? Right? Or, they called us Jews because it was Judea, right? Which had all three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But it even had some of the northern kingdom, right? So it's really just Israelites. It should be there. Or you would say Judeans, right? But not Jewish, right? Because there were more than one tribe, right? Jews represent one tribe, which is Judah, but not all tribes, right? Which technically there is a scripture that the Lord said that, but that's not proper, right? The proper way is to understand that there's more than one tribe, right? Right? Because technically, yeah, because if the Lord came down from heaven, he would be a Judite, right? Which still is only one tribe at the end of the day, which he showed that by shedding his son's blood, for the Israelites, and then his son being, it says, surely our Lord sprang out of Judah, not Jewish, Judah, right? Community had settled in the south, right, of Egypt, right? So now the other one says something about Asia. This one's saying something about southern Egypt. But regardless, Israelites were scattered. They settled in different places, right? At the end of the day. So you may be called an Egyptian, but you'll be an Israelite, or you may be called someone from southern China, right? Which back in the day it wasn't even called China; it was Asia. So you'd be southern Asia, right? For wherever where you would be at, right? Amongst those people, whoever you lived around, right? And you may be called by those names, by the inhabitants, by that land, right? Or by the people in that land. But does not change that you're an Israelite, right? Yeah, so basically that answers everything that you were talking about. Even what the brother was talking about, the Halloween goes into the you so-called Christians, you're pagans, and you worship Halloween, right? At the end of the day, right? So that answered the thing where how are those other people considered Israelites, because these Israelites were scattered in different lands, right? Whether if it's in southern Egypt or southern China, whichever one of these answers is right, but they gave an answer which will let you understand that the Israelites are scattered, right? and they settled in different lands. That's not them settling in Israel, right? That's not the settlement of them being in Israel. That's them being settled somewhere else. So the Lord said they will come from far, from somewhere else. But it doesn't change that they're not Israelites because they came from somewhere else, or they're called under a different name, or they're called under the name of the inhabitants. Doesn't change that, right? So with all that, and we give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To you sisters, you Akhwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And Abba Ball. Kwam Yasharallah.